And welcome to this early October 11th version of our One Online Improvement Committee. Again, thanks for your flexibility, and hopefully we'll get a few more people. I know Melissa's caught in a meeting. So, George, you want to kick us off?
Yeah. How many do we have in this meeting right now? Does it say? 11. Good. Okay. When we you can go down and put it in the chat, or you could say what is your put down your name, where you're from, and what is your personal goal for the future? Like, what are your goal as you wanting to do in the future? Like, go to college, or where you're saving up to get a new car, things like that. That's what I was referring to. The other thing too is we are now looking for a co-chair. And James, has there been any bites on that yet?
Well, Brandy joined us last time, and she's thinking about it.
Okay, is she online?
She's not here though right now. So, anyone else? See that slight smile, Mariah?
Okay, we've got some exciting things coming up.
Yeah, that's for sure. Mariah, you were going to say something?
Yeah, do we get to share our personal goal for the future? Or do we just need to write it in the chat? An introduction.
However you want to do it.
Okay, I always like hearing from everybody. I'm all personable. Well, my name's Mariah. I work at Yellowhawk Tribal Health Center. I'm the resource coordinator. And my personal goal for the future is currently going for my bachelor's in tribal governance and business management from Northwest Indian College out of Washington. And I'm set to be done in spring of 2024. And so someday I'd like to work for the office of the executive director or in the political or economic sector for my tribe here, as my dad's current tribal council chairman in our political sector for the tribe here. So that's a personal goal for the future.
Cool. My name is George. I'm the chair of this committee, and my goal future would be hoping to get a new house to live in that I can call my own. I worked really hard for it and see which direction I go. Anybody else?
Anyone else? Yeah, speak up.
Howdy, my name is Vanessa Broadley. I'm the community navigator for the South Coast Regional Early Learning Hub. And my personal goal, my daughter does competitive gymnastics and my son does travel ball. So it's to survive this competition season and not go into financial ruin over it. So yeah.
Anybody else?
I'll go. My name's Sydney. I am working in Neighbor Impact for Baby Promise. And my goal is to buy a house, which seems to be getting harder and harder every year, but we'll get there one day.
Okay, anybody else?
James, I think people might be trying to join the one version because I see them popping in.
Yeah, I saw that too, and I was just going to put in a message in that chat to give them the link. But as I'm doing that, I'm going to try to speak too. I'm James Barta. I am the engagement strategy manager here in the Oregon Eligibility Partnership, and I am. My goal is to take an overseas trip. We're talking about Europe, but who knows, next year. So that's my ambitious idea. Oh.
Hey, I see Melissa. Hi, Melissa. Anybody else?
So for those that just joined, we're actually asking people to speak up and say, introduce yourself and your personal goal for the future.
Well, George said to put it in the chat.
No, I can put either in the chat or on however you
Yeah.
want.
Okay.
I also would remind people in this committee that while we're going through this, these things on the agenda, your voice does count. So if you, whether you agree or disagree, you do have the right to voice your opinion as we're going through the agenda and going through the options and such. So,
It looks like Rosetta's raising her hand.
okay, go for it.
I'm sorry I'm late. So my name is Rosetta Minthorn. I work at Yellowhawk Tribal Health Center in Pendleton, Oregon. And a goal that I have for the future is next year I would like to take some classes on sewing.
Cool. Anybody else? We have 15 people. That's cool.
I can go.
Go ahead, Vixen.
Here, I'll even share video, maybe. My name is Vixen Radford Wex, and I work for Northeast Oregon Network, or NEON, and I live in Joseph, Oregon, and I serve Wallowa County. And my goal for the future is to spend more time traveling and making memories with my family.
Cool. Anybody else?
All right. Oh,
We've got 15 people. We only had certain. Okay. Ruth, did you want to say something? Well, who else came back on?
No, I don't have anything to say now.
Okay. Melissa? Marleo?
It looks like they put theirs in the chat. George, Marla said she wants to become a CADC and create a working treatment program for an agency. And Samantha, she said her personal goal would be to find patients and be more kind and professional. Deputy director sounds really nice for a 5-year plan. So Judith also said her goal is to stay healthy. They put those ones in the chat.
Okay. Thank you for looking at that. Okay, go ahead, James. It's all yours.
okay. Yeah, thanks for all that. That's great. Yeah, as for our last meeting, we did spend a bit of time talking about some of the requests. I'm going to get into that in just a little bit, but we also, I think we finalized the form for the requests. So, and it's linked in the agenda. So just take a look at that. And if you have questions about it, it's in the agenda as an action item. So we're going to start distributing that. So if you have comments on it, do let us know. And feel free to fill it, encourage people to fill it out if they have very specific suggestions for the one system. We're still realizing we need a better process to analyze these suggestions before we present them to you. But we're working on that. And last time we didn't get to the charter, but I'm really determined that we're going to do that this time. And we did set dates such as for this meeting and for our November and December meetings. We remember that we're canceling the second meetings of the month in November and December and increasing the length of the earlier meeting from 1.5 to 2 hours. And we're going to be starting earlier. So please make a note of that if you haven't already for I forget the dates, for the early November and the early December meeting.
That information will be on the emails, right?
Yeah. In fact, it's at the bottom of this agenda. If you go all the way to the bottom, you'll see the next meetings are listed like that. All right. So yeah, let's talk about some of these requests because there's a lot of them. And if you're like me, having trouble keeping track of them all and they're a little confusing. So I'm actually, okay, well, I guess we'll just go in order that we have here. So the option 9, the one that would provide, from our old numbering system, the option system, putting the link in to return to the login screen after you've updated your expired password, well, or any password. Hey, that's going into the build tonight. Is that still going on tonight? I forget already. Sam, or was that delayed?
It's been delayed till tomorrow,
Okay.
which is my fault. I keep putting up roadblocks saying that I want things to be correct and right when it goes live. So,
You're such a pain that way, Sam.
just the worst.
All right. And so you will be able to see that in just a few days. The option 4, this one we did spend a bit of time on last week, and it probably bears a little bit of discussion right now because the suggestion was made, it's like, hey, why don't we get someone who actually experiences this part of the questionnaire in a very real way to talk about it. Now I've checked in with the Oregon Law Center and the policy teams, and so I think we have pretty good wording, but it's hard for us in this group, in this virtual room together, to say with conviction that, hey, this is good wording. And so recognize that. And we did make a request that if any of you had contacts to take a look at it, we'd love to hear their opinions. We didn't hear back from anyone. I did reach out to Catholic Community Services and only, I haven't actually reached the person yet, but I'm supposed to be connected shortly. So I'll take a moment here to get people's thoughts on going forward. I mean, our options are to take what we've got and put it in, or to delay another month and try to get some confirmation. Ruth?
Have you looked or thought about sending it up to DRO and see what they think of it?
I have not thought about that. I don't know if DRO, Disability Rights Oregon, works in these immigration issues like that, though.
The wording is what I would think they would know the wording.
We can do that.
If that is like, I guess, are we seeing more people doing this on their own, or are they using community partners that can somewhat explain what a line may mean, so that even if we sent it through and it's still not the most clear or something, that we have at least the community partners that can explain what exactly is being in a language that they also understand, depending on what language is their primary language.
In fact, that was part of the Oregon Law Center's case, is that anyone who's concerned about that really does need to consult with legal advice before submitting such application to a judge or anything of the sort, to see if they could get this withholding of removal. And actually, I think we removed the deportation being withheld from the question, since it's sort of redundant. And but yeah, to answer your question, yes, that's how people interact with that. Is they should be working with community groups to determine the next steps.
Actually, James, so a little bit of clarification. This question does appear for non-medical programs. Currently, our medical assistant community partners only assist with medical. So if an individual is just applying for SNAP for example, they would see this on their home computer and be forced to, answer it, resolve it. The concern about the question, though, was raised by our medical assistant community partners. So we don't know if the average Oregonian at home was struggling with it, or if it was community partners struggling with it and having concerns. We just know that people were saying, hey, this needs to be cleaned up to be less concerning. And I think when this group read through it themselves, they saw that it was concerning as well. But yeah, it can be seen and need to be answered by individuals working with medical assistant community partners or individuals entering an application from home. As far as, are we seeing more people engage with this at home rather than working with medical assistant community partners to fill out their application? Yes, because of the limitations on who medical assistant community partners or which programs they can work on right now. We are 100% of SNAP cash assistance and childcare assistance applications are being filled out by that come through the one online portal are being filled out by individuals at home. So we've seen a pretty big increase of people using the one online portal themselves rather than working with a medical assistant community partner.
Samantha, thanks for the clarification. Yeah, I probably let my mouth run before I was thinking fully. Yeah, I would say there's two groups. There's the people who are directly affected, and then everyone else who's like, what is that scary phrase? And so it's got to work for both groups.
James, could you explain to the group also that there is, we'd all gone and looked at the dates that these are having to go in also, please? Like option 4 had to go into a certain date that we were listing.
Yeah, right now we've got to, either we have to say this is finalized language and it's going in, in just the next couple days, or or we put it off. It's one or the other, because it's due pretty much immediately.
And what is the actual finalized language of it? Because this is just
Yeah, it is in your briefing sheet. I hope. Make sure, and we can bring that up too. If I can find the right briefing sheet. Does someone have it ready to share?
I don't have it ready to share, but I can get it. Just give me 1 minute.
You just want us to read number 4?
Yeah. Oh, it's not in the most recent briefing sheet, is it? Shoot.
What we did was, there's a date next to each one of them as to when they're supposed to be going in. Like there's 1 or 2 or maybe 3 of them going in next year. One of these options.
I do have it somewhere.
I have it, but mine is dark, so I don't think it would be
Here.
readable.
Angel Vixen said something on the chat. Could you please read that?
Here, I've got
I
it.
think we should submit with the changes we have done to this time.
And that's what Vixen said.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's the text we have now.
But what's the date that this has to go in?
I think it's this Friday. Samantha, do you?
This Friday, it has been confirmed this Friday to go in for the November 10th, but I think our November 10th slots might be full. So we do have until the 3rd to confirm it for the November 29th release. That said, when I say the 3rd, we have to have our final language. We have to have it over for the developers to do their analysis and give us back the proposal on how they're going to implement it. And we have to have the translations back. So really, we have until the 25th of this month to give everything else time to move through the process.
But to confirm, it would say, has applicant been granted legal protections under withholding of removal? And then if they clicked on the question box, the additional text would come up, what's in there, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
I mean, I personally see that is a lot more clear than what it used to be. And unless anything comes in and changes, like I'm.
We have a proposal. Should we just go forward with this?
Judith? Mandy?
Yeah, I'm okay with it. Since this wording is already being used elsewhere and it's acceptable, I accept.
Well, this wording isn't being used elsewhere, actually.
Well, we were just discussing it. And we said medically that it had been withholding of removal was being used.
Oh, right.
Thank you.
Mandy? Mariah?
I'm with the consensus. If everyone is happy with it, then works for me too.
Okay, Marleo? Rosetta?
I agree that it's okay to send forward.
Did Sydney see something? Yeah, okay.
I will agree to it.
So Ruth, you're okay with it?
Yes.
So who are we missing? Scarell. Did they?
I said yes. I think I started the crazy train. Yeah, I'm in.
Yep.
Okay, well,
That's not bad.
looks like James, you got your vote.
Okay, well, thank you for that. That is helpful to know. So let's, I'll stop sharing this, and Angel, if you can bring up the PowerPoint again.
Samantha, I would like to bring up that you had explained to us in the other meeting. Could you please explain to I think there's some new people in here. Could you explain to them as to what needs to go in first, whether it's the text you explained to us or the other thing that had to go in? Like the text that had to go in first, had to be voted in because there was a timeline for that?
I'm not sure I'm following, but also I had started reading something, so I was multitasking. That's my fault, George.
Okay, you were explaining to us that there was the text and then there was another version and that we had to get all the text in because it took longer to get in or something like that.
Oh, for the whatchamacallit, the it's so hard without Angel's screen right now.
No, it's black. It's fully black. We can't see
Okay,
anything.
yeah.
Oh,
Just try again, Angel.
okay.
Yeah, you were explaining to us the difference between what took longer, the text.
Oh, okay. Yes, I think I know what you're talking about, George. So there was when we're talking about making changes to whether or not something shows versus changing like a bunch of text on the screen or even like one line of text on the screen. So we had a change, let me see. Oh, it was request 15 that was saying after completing a renewal or mid certification, the banner is still visible. That's a much easier change for us to get in because that's something I can do entirely on my own. I will go in and just tell our developers how to change the rules of when that banner displays or not. But for something like the withholding of removal, when we're looking at how to change that, that's not something that I just make the decisions on how we change, right? Like if I make the decisions, we already know how it's going to look because that's how it is right now. You guys need to take, when we were talking about text, you guys need to talk through what you want to do, reach out and talk to any subject matter experts we want to talk to about it. So there's a couple of more rounds that needs to go through because it's a human-centered change rather than a technical change, if that makes sense. So if we have things like this request 15, these are really quick and easy to pump through, fixing display logic, fixing logic in the system. Text takes longer just because we need to go through all of the rounds we need to go with it. So when we're looking at these, if we can kind of pick mixes of technical changes and wording changes, we'll still be able to make improvements, but understand that some of them might be further out and some of them might go in really fast. So just because we vote something, we approve it with 9 votes versus 8 votes, that doesn't mean the one with 9 votes will necessarily go in first. If the one with 8 votes is easier and faster for us to get in, if that makes sense. And if not, tell me.
Go ahead, Sam.
Oh, I just said, and if that just confused everybody, let me know. I'll try to think of a different way to conceptualize it.
And I think we've seen this in, like option 4 we were just talking about. We have to come up with new wording, and that's a process, especially in this case. Not only do we need new wording, but it can be culturally specific. And so we want to get advice for, if we're not represented here from that viewpoint, we want to make sure we're talking to those populations affected. I would add too, if it involves, like a graphics, we have to figure out what that graphic is going to look like as well. So, all right.
So James and Vanessa, we've got 9 gone, we've got 4 gone, and we've got option 11 gone, correct?
Yeah, option 11 is moving forward as well. And yeah, I think that one's set for the build in just a couple of weeks. And Ruth,
I'm having a hard time agreeing with this one unless we have some kind of a system set up to remind people that they're to check their expiration on their password, because when people need to get in and do something right away, it's a total frustration to have to go and change the password just to get in. So we need some way to remind the people to help them keep their password up to date.
yeah, this notice, is there when anytime people sign in, it lets them know that the passwords expire every 9 days. We did investigate whether it was possible to give sort of that countdown, but that was a much bigger lift and would have gotten in a different queue to complete, and would have taken more than a year before we could do that. And that's something I think as a group we're going to be discussing in the future, some of the bigger ideas of what we might want to prioritize. We're just for now working through these smaller ideas. So the short version is, it sort of sucks, Ruth, that we can't do what I think would be really helpful and what you're pointing out in any time in the short term. And then it turns into a bigger question of how to prioritize it.
So could we have a to-do list for the future saying that we would like to come back and revisit this so that a year from now we might actually see that improvement?
That's a good suggestion. We could have like the
Mhm.
whatever the kids are calling it nowadays, parking lot or bike rack
Right.
of ideas
Uh-huh.
that,
Yeah.
of some of these bigger ideas, and almost have its own process of how to prioritize them. Yeah.
Well, I know with what interaction I've had with caseworkers and such, they're just, when they found out that there was going to be the problem with the password, all they could think of is how much time that they were going to be spending with the consumer as to helping them to get in so they could do their own work.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got 9, 4, and 11. So now, what's our next one, guys?
Well, just going down the list here, request 15 after, oh, that's the one that Samantha was just talking about, the, using the, removing the banner. So, yeah, that one looks like it's moving forward. I think for next month it would be probably in the same build as the option 4 we were just talking about.
So right now, do have it scheduled for the November 8th build. I did get all of the logic up and ready, and it looks like Deloitte just gave me back the work, kind of their work summary of how they're understanding it to review. So that's on my to-do list to look at today. It's really nerdy stuff. I'll put it in chat in case anybody's interested in seeing the sausage making here on this one.
Okay, we're most of the way through here. While Samantha gets the sausage out to put in the chat.
Okay, so we've got 15, 14, and 3 to work on, right?
Yeah, well, 15's in place. Request 14. Let's see, we have.
It would seem to me 14 would be a text that Samantha would be working on, I think.
Oh yeah, so let me give a really quick update about this. I actually met with our developers last week and kind of talked through what we were discussing. I sent them the visual we looked at. If folks remember, we had talked about adding updated and new in buttons on the grid so that when people went in and they updated an income and then clicked update, it would show update on that grid. And then when they're adding something new, it would show as new on that grid. And then something that has not been changed at all, it won't show either new or updated because it's neither new nor updated, right? I did discuss it with them and they are investigating how they can make it happen. So because there are a lot of these grids within the system, it might turn out where they can do some of them in one work item and some of them in another. It might take us a little bit of time to get this out. If you guys recall, a work item's limited to 50 hours of work. So if something's going to be bigger than that, we have to look at ways to either split it up if that's possible, or it has to move into that other bucket of bigger work. So they're doing that investigation right now, and I'm waiting for them to get back to me. It's been about 7 days since we had that conversation, so I expect information back at any point. This is currently slated for November 29th. Right now, while they're doing that investigation, not 100% sure if we can reach that date, but we are certainly trying. So I will be following up with more information on this, but they liked the idea. They had a lot of good questions about it and thought it was doable. They just need to figure out some of the nuts and bolts right now. So I don't have the sausage back on this one. It's still at the factory being ground, but I'll be following up on this one with more information for everyone to let us know exactly how it's going to play out.
Is number 3 a text or the other side of things?
Yeah, that's a text, and yeah, we have that language somewhere.
Let me drop in the language. I had to tweak it a little bit as I was thinking through this one. And this is one again where I had a conversation with the developers. They also had some ideas about like, oh, let's maybe move some things around where people select that they want to go paperless. Let's change some of the options. And I said, whoa, guys, remember, this is a work item. And out of this work item, I need a pop-up. If you guys want to do more than a pop-up, that's fine, but I'm giving you one work item to do it. So don't go changing the whole system and then telling me it's going to be a bigger change request where it's going to be multiple work items. You get one. So if you guys want to do work for free, I'm not going to tell you no. But I did have to modify the text just a little bit so that it worked a little bit better. And I'm going to put that in chat right now so it's visual because I know some people like to read. I'm also going to read it out. So for the website, we said, would you like to go paperless? You are currently getting your notices through the mail. You can choose to go paperless instead. Your notices will be made available online on the site, in your message center, and in the Oregon One mobile app. We will notify you when you have a notice in your message center. Are you interested? Go thanks or no thanks, excuse me, no thanks or go paperless. Then we were talking about how we wanted to do the same in the mobile app. And the mobile app doesn't actually have the ability to select that they want to go paperless, which was an interesting find. So I slightly modified the text for the mobile app and it says, would you like to go paperless? You are currently getting notices through the mail. You can choose to go paperless instead. Your notices will be made available online on this app, in your message center, and in your your One online portal. And then it gives the URL for that. We will notify you when you have a new notice in your message center. Are you interested? Log in with your One online account at, and then it gives the hyperlink to it, and choose Go Paperless from the pop-up, or click Settings and edit your communication preferences. So I tried to, as I was modifying these, add more instructions on exactly the actions people needed to take. If we like these, we can keep them. If we want to massage that language at all, I can go ahead and add in tweaks right now.
So Samantha, are you asking us to vote on 14 and 3?
Well, this is just 3.
I don't think we're re-voting on it. We've already said we want to do this work. So what I'm asking for is for the group to read through the text I've put in for 3 and basically say, yeah, we like this text, or can we change it this way? I need your feedback because this is Sam creating language, and we know that Sam doesn't always create the best language.
Okay, Judith, you like this?
I think the second one on mobile is extremely wordy. And I personally would not click on another link and then have to relog in to then change. I don't know personally, but I just feel like it's really long. And then saying go paperless or go to set, like it just seems like a lot.
So the alternative I came up with is that we could just not put this message in the mobile app at all, just because we don't have the ability for them to change to paperless from within the mobile app right now. So we could potentially prioritize adding that to the mobile app and then add in this message in the mobile app, or not this message, a message more like the one that's going into web, or we can keep this one, or we can completely remove it and just not say anything in the mobile app.
That makes sense to me, not saying anything in the mobile app, just do it in the one system, because I like, this is an option, but I can't give it to you. You have to go over here to do it. Like that just doesn't make sense to me. So just keeping it in one and moving forward with that makes way more sense than, yeah.
Well, I've got 2 people saying that keep it off of the phone and put it in the one system.
I agree with Vanessa, although Sam, I have a dumb question for you, which is for those who are using the mobile app, who this message would be prompted to go paperless, are they receiving the mobile like alerts or messages already as well as the paper, and it would just be getting rid of the paper? Or would it be transferring those notices from paper to the mobile app?
So, there's, first of all, not a stupid question. So what do I want to, how do I want to say it? There's the notifications and then there's the notices, right? There's a couple of different functionalities in the mobile app. There's notifications that happen that say like, hey, you have an RFI due in 5 days. Those don't ever get mailed out. There is the request for information, the RFI itself that says, hey, you need to tell us about you need to provide us proof of your earned income by October 31st. That always goes in and is available in the mobile app. And then people can choose to also have it mailed to them. So we're giving them the opportunity to say, don't mail that to me anymore, just make it available on the mobile app and the website. So yes and no.
Got it. Thank you for clarifying.
So Mario, are you saying no app? Are you deciding with yes with Judith and Vixen?
Do you mean Marlo?
Yeah.
I agree with Vanessa and that we keep it off the mobile app, but go with the one.
Okay. Mario. Rosetta, are you saying the same thing? Ruth?
I agree to keep it on the app and out of the mobile.
Don't you mean?
I agree. And I agree with them.
So keep it off of the mobile but keep it on the one system. Right?
Agree.
How is the wording for the one system? Any thoughts on that?
Oh, let me get this off first.
I'm trying to figure out who Mario is.
For Marlo?
Are you sure it's Mario? Or maybe it's Marlo.
It's Marlo.
Marlo.
Sorry.
Sorry,
Mm.
I'm pretty used to it.
So Samantha, it looks like you got your votes.
Well, that cleans up the mobile app part, and I already put a note in the change request and updated that. How were we feeling about the text that was going to go in the website?
Okay.
I can read it again if people don't want to scroll back up, which is fair. It'll say, would you like to go paperless? You are currently getting your notices through the mail. You can choose to go paperless instead. Your notices will be made available online on this site in your message center and in the Oregon One mobile app. We will notify you when you have received a notice in your message center. Are you interested? No, thanks. Go paperless. And they have a button for each. They can pick one or the other.
Okay, what's your guys' vote on this?
Well, I have a question about that. So listening to that and reading that, and I'm thinking to myself, so if I go paperless, or if I go, I want paper, can I not get it online anymore? If I go paperless, can I not get paper anymore? So should we put a clause in there that says you can always go back? Just let us know.
Yeah, we could add something like after, are you interested? We could say something like, you can change your mind later.
Right, exactly.
So Judith, what's your vote? I think I forgot.
Yes.
Okay. Mandy, Mariah, what's your vote? Okay, Mandy says yes. Marlo says. Okay, Marlo says yes. Rosetta, what's your vote?
I like the wording as is.
Okay, Ruth? Sydney says yes.
I already said yes.
Okay. Vixen?
Yes.
Yeah, you got your vote. Samantha,
Awesome. I will have our developers move forward with this language. And I will bring it back to the group if they come up with any way that they don't want to charge us, but do want to add anything else to this. So stay tuned.
Thank you.
okay, James, take it away.
All right, well, we've got, let me just give a note on our timing here, the meeting. This is a really great discussion, and we should have had these earlier, so I'm appreciating this. Obviously, we're taking more time than we originally optimistically thought. We're thinking that there's a lot of changes and updates on the votes that you guys made too. So we're thinking of putting off the discussion of that until the next meeting, so we can at least start covering the charter a little later. So just a little logistics update. But I think we are good on this screen. And if we go to the next one, Angel, request 6. This one is another one that requires some thought and some work, and we recognize that by saying, well, let's implement it in December or January, but of course you can't just say that and not work on it. So I do know that this one is in the briefing sheet, and so you clarify miscellaneous document uploading screen to say that the submittals, identification, proof of income, proof of legal immigration status for everyone in your household who wants benefits and are not US citizens are optional. So you know, Samantha, I'm going to call on you again. If you could help talk about what we need on this one.
We were on request 6, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there was an entire screen full of text that I provided a screenshot of a while back. We were getting some feedback that maybe this wasn't entirely correct and it was stressing people out. One of the reasons was because it said that immigration documents are required to apply for benefits, and that's not necessarily true, especially with the Healthier Oregon program that was released last year. So there was an ask that we kind of look at the text that will appear on the screen and kind of go through it and rewrite it to be a little more friendly and less concerning for people. So I think, James, kind of where we keep kind of swirling around on this one is, how do we want to work on that? I can pull the text off into like a Word document, but do we want to work on it live? Or do we want to work on it offline in a shared document where people can go in and make edits and then kind of bring them back and continue like looking at it, looking through edits, having conversations about, you know, if there are edits that are in conflict, that sort of thing. Yeah, we just need to figure out a path to be able to do this type of work where we're kind of rewriting an entire screen.
Okay, what is your guys' feedback on this? Let Samantha know.
I like to be able to have it to work on it and then be able to compare like what in the work we're actually doing so that we could report back.
Marlo?
I mean, it would be nice to have it.
Sydney?
Yeah, I agree.
Ruth?
Be nice to have it.
Okay. Who am I? Rosetta?
Yeah, I was gonna say, these are already on the briefing sheet. I was looking at it. We have it, right? I'm looking, well, I know we have it because I'm looking at it. But to confirm, everyone's, because I'm a little confused. So what we're trying to do is clarify that entire page, correct? Because it's currently saying you can submit additional documents we didn't already request from you for John or anyone else on this application who was interested in benefits, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. But part of the concern is that it's making it sound like they have to. And this is, first of all, this page is purely optional. And second, maybe we don't have the best suggestions of things they may need to submit. And those suggestions aren't great.
Okay.
So,
My question,
oh, go ahead, Vanessa.
if I was applying on this, I would get to this close towards the end of the application because I've not used one before. So if I was applying, would this be towards the end and this is like one of the final steps as I'm finishing the application and this is an optional thing that pops up?
Yeah, it's after you have clicked to submit your application, like you've entered all the information about yourself and your situation, you've read through all the rights and responsibilities, which is a bazillion pages, and I do apologize everyone for that. I know it's a bazillion pages. And you've clicked submit. It'll actually show you if you are, for medical programs only, it'll show you if you're approved, denied, or pending. For all other programs, it'll say like, yeah, you're pending completion of the application process. And then it gives you the option to upload these documents. So it's after all of that.
Okay, because I'm reading and it says we need proof to see if you're eligible instead of like just off the bat, it's like we may need, or like, because like you said, I do agree. Like I'm reading it and you're telling me you need miscellaneous documents and that's what I'm getting off of it. So just, yeah, the entire format and wording makes me seem like I'm not done. You still need this from me.
Yeah. And at this point, for all those programs that don't run eligibility out of the client portal, so that's SNAP, cash, cash assistance for needy families, child care assistance doesn't run eligibility. And then if you're going to be in some of our medical programs for refugees or for older adults or individuals with disabilities, it does not run the eligibility. So I can't tell them if we need them or not. So they may need them, but they don't have to. Your head is just like exactly my reaction for years. Just like, all right, that's fun. So yeah, it's the whole may, but we don't know if we need these. You can provide them in advance just in case, like if you know you're going to need to provide them, because we do have individuals who have been working with the department long enough at this point that they know, yes, every time I do need to provide my paycheck stubs. But there are people who are completely new and they may not know at all. So we want to keep it soft enough that they understand that we're not telling you you have to provide this. We may need it to get to that final approved or denied, but we don't know exactly what we need right now. Yeah, I know.
So to answer the process question, I think my suggestion is, we maybe as staff come up with an option or two to at least as a rewrite and then put it out in an email and we can get suggestions. It's always been a trick for the state to have shared documents. I'm not sure if we can figure that one out, but at least put something out, get edits offline, because it's hard to wordsmith in a group, but then that way at the subsequent meeting we'll have some options to work off of. That's my suggestion.
No, I agree with that. Like a shared Google Doc, because like off the bat I can say like we need your info. I'm like, why is that even there? Like I get you're trying to be like, oh, we may need, like get rid of it, and then just starting off with that second line just gives a lot more clarity. Like yeah. Sorry, and I'm reading the chat to my face. Sorry, I'm so bad. Do not have a poker face.
No, it's my favorite. People with no poker face are my favorite in meetings. I love the real-time feedback.
Samantha, I do have a question for you with number 6 and 2. When
Sure.
someone is having to submit their documents, how are they going to submit it through the one system?
So if they have them on their computer already, for example, sometimes people have taken a picture and they already have it in their email, they can attach it, they can upload it and attach it. Or if it's something like my employer gives my paycheck stubs online, I have an employee portal I can go to, I can download the file and attach it there. So that's just like 2 of the ways I can think of off the top of my head, but they do need to be in a digital format on the computer that they're using in order to attach them.
Okay, then I would like to suggest that if that's the case, that it be placed on either 6 or 2 and somewhere on the new one system when this comes up, that there needs to say also how to get the documents to you. Not a lot of people know how to do it or has the knowledge to get it.
Well, I think it's already on there on that page. It says you click there and it drops and it says it on that screen what type of document. And then, but I think I like just let's reword. If you guys can give us rewordings and we can butcher your rewordings to just move forward, that'd be great. Like also adding like, why are you telling us you're going to scan it for malware? Like, I don't care. Like, I don't know. Like, that's just, let's shorten it and make it simpler instead of like, we don't need all that extra information.
Well, when I was doing it, Vanessa, I couldn't find it anywhere. And that's why I was saying that when I did. So I couldn't find it anywhere. When I was suggesting it to Sam Smetha. That way people would know how
It
to.
is. Oh, I'm sorry, George. Go ahead.
That way they know how to submit.
Yeah, are you looking at the screenshot on the? Because it is on that screen, at least. I'm not, maybe you're.
Well,
It's on another screen.
James, when I was doing them for my stuff, I had never come across that. It's either something I'm missing or I don't know. I mean, I've never come across it.
Yeah.
So
sometimes, George, on some of those forms, some of the buttons are so far down on the page, people don't find them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Samantha and James, Melissa, Angel, are you guys wanting us to, since this is December into January for this year and next year, are you guys wanting us to vote on this? Are you guys wanting us to reward this before December and January, or are you?
Well, I think the idea is in both these requests that they're more complex. There's going to be a lot of give and take. We're going to come up with drafts. We're going to check with people, get your input, go back and make sure that rewording works. So it's going to take a little more time, hence the idea of implementation down the road. In a sense, though, we almost don't even have to worry about this. That's just the December and January is just a self-imposed date. It's going to get submitted when it's ready. And so it's just a matter of us putting in the work and being comfortable with the final product and then submitting it.
Okay, so are you and Samantha and Melissa and Angel sending us an email for us to reward this?
We will need to do that.
Okay. Sometimes computers will take PDF instead for us to do rewording. Mine's, I know it takes PDF. It won't take Word.
And mine's just the opposite.
We'll have to send it out in a couple formats.
Mhm.
All right. And I think we don't even need to get into request two because we're overdue for a break. And this has been a lot of info to get discussed. So let's meet back at 11:05. Let's plan on right at 11 minutes after the hour. We'll get back and talk about the charter.
Oh, wait, James, we need to do the voting results.
Well, yeah, we'll at least talk about that a little bit too, but after the break.
Okay. 11:05 it is.
All right. While people are getting back, I just want to reiterate that we realized that some of the things we put up for the vote are, our larger change requests, which we need this time to discuss, and one is already implemented, and one, and so I do want to talk about all these things, but I think, we have been putting charter on the agenda for, for a couple months now and just not getting to it. So gosh darn it, we're going to do it this time. So, so I know, George, you've been looking forward to talking about the charter as well. Wondering then if we can run through our draft.
Yes, I do want to make note to the group that I had found when I went through the charter the first time, that the one thing is missing is our term limits for each member. Has everybody gone through the charter draft yet?
I think the last time we sent it out was a couple meetings ago. So I suspect a lot of people have not, but we'll go ahead and share our draft that we have. And at least the idea is not to finalize anything here, but just to get the discussion going, see what we're missing, see any comments you might have, and then we can work on it and present a more, I don't know, finished product for subsequent discussion.
So guys, what do you want the mission statement to say?
Yeah, we've got mission and vision here in this Article 2.
Rosetta, Ruth, Sydney, Vanessa?
Might give people time to read it.
We're thinking.
Oh, okay.
Well, we're back to individuals. Okay. What other methods are we going to obtain? to, let's see, we will consider other methods to obtain more suggestions via other groups or external form.
That kind of going off of when we were talking about the wordage and using different like organizations to help us.
Right, but methods? Okay.
Ruth,
The first paragraph's good, I think. I don't see any changes there. Anybody else?
I mean, it all looks good to me.
Mhm,
I like the first paragraph as well.
mhm. Mhm.
I have a problem on the first one in that it says the one committee convenes community representatives. I guess I don't understand what you mean by community representatives.
that would be us, Ruth.
Mhm.
Well, the way this is stated, it could be anybody. And I'm wondering, unless we're holding public meetings or something, you know, we should be able to have a link or something, some way that we can get public information in. And this to me says that, you know, the representatives on the one system limits what we're going to use as a means to get what we want done. And somewhere to me, this leaves out some of the prospects that we could use.
What kind of prospects do you mean?
Well, I think convenes community representatives. To me, those are two words, but with no definition.
As in change the wording so that others could voice their opinion outside the committee.
I mean,
Well,
what clarification do you mean? Because I feel like a community representative is just, we are all from different, there could be non-professionals, professionals. I think that word in itself, to me, I'm gathering that means really anyone is allowed to participate. This isn't really closed. I don't think we are really closing it off, because to me, it's a representation of our entire community. Like, that's how I'm seeing it.
Rosella, what is your take on this?
The wording makes sense to me, but if they need to change it, maybe we could say meets with various community representatives to prioritize.
Is there anybody else I'm missing? Marlo, what do you think? Ruth, the question you asked a while back about the different charters, does this answer your question?
I've not gotten to read it all the way through,
Okay,
so I can't say that yet.
okay.
I don't have a problem with it. It looks fine. I think the language that you just changed it to is just simpler language.
Why are you putting such constraints though on the next line? It says the committee will analyze and prioritize suggestions from various sources based on the number of people helped. In other words, if we don't think it's going to help somebody, we don't want to look at it.
James?
Well, that is our goal, is to improve the system. So yeah, we do want to help people and their access. And further wording on that.
Well, I guess when we see a problem and the way you're putting it here, you have to have so many people that it will help before we should be looking at it.
So it doesn't help, Ruth, if the suggestions we get come from users and community members, as a suggestion, they've been presented to us because they will help in any case. I guess.
Right. But the way this is stated is if it doesn't do based on the number of people helped, then you've got to have a hard line there. Then what do you classify the number that you need that people are helped? You see what I'm saying?
I don't think it's a hard line. I think it's prioritizing. It might move down on the list, but we're prioritizing the impact on it, like versus like, let's fix this one thing that could affect 15. Let's make a larger change that can affect everyone accessing it. But I don't think it's any hard lines personally. I just say that it's not saying, no, we're not going to look at it. It might just fall a little down. And I mean, that's what we're doing. They're giving us a ton of things to look at, and we're deciding which ones we should really move towards improving or changing.
Thank you, Vanessa. Yeah, you're able to articulate faster than I was able to think.
Well, does the number of people helped even belong in there? From various sources based on whether these individuals have resources and the severity of the problem to be fixed and the requirements necessary to make the change.
I mean, you could think of severity as encompassing, not only is it a real huge obstacle or an inconvenience, and also how many people are affected. Severity.
How many people are affected?
Those things.
Okay.
So we're reaching the end of our meeting time. By the way, you can see that this will be a lot of fun for us to walk our way through. This is another document that we're gonna have to figure out how to let everyone send edits, because we could wordsmithing sessions with a group of people are never the best, but we do need your input. So we're going to probably do a mixture of things like this, but we want to do a lot of the work in between meetings, because I think that's just much more efficient, and people can add their edits and we'll put them all together. And I'm sure many times they'll be in completely different directions and conflicting, and that's what we'll get to figure out here. So I do want to point out that again, at the end of the agenda, we have the form to make these suggestions. These are where our ideas are coming from. And if you're interested in being a co-chair, we'd love to have you. I know George would too. And we have these tokens of appreciation that no one has taken us up on. And finally, next time around, we will get to the vote counts. Sorry that we squeezed that out.
What is the process for applying for these?
Oh, for the
stipend?
Yeah, just send us an email, say you're interested, and then we figure out how to get you these payments.
Okay.
So, yeah. For you, your organization. So finally, I just want to remind you, we will meet normally for our next one on October 25th. The Zoom link is at the bottom of the agenda, but our subsequent meetings will all be altered through the rest of the year. So.
Oh, and James?
Yeah.
Are we taking these voting results and putting them on next time's meeting?
Yeah, we need to give you some more contextual information for the vote. So we're going to figure out how to include that and maybe even redo part of it, so you'll have more proper information.
And I'd like to suggest it again. Please let for next year's scheduling from January to December, please send out the row of meetings each month.
Yeah,
People,
definitely. Although I would love, maybe we can do this next time. We have a couple things. Maybe walk through the password system and discuss, is Wednesday, I know we're meeting here at 11 or 10 o'clock on the Wednesday morning, but is Wednesday afternoon the best time for us to meet? Just, because New Year's coming, you get to think, yeah, what do you want to change for the new year? So please think about that.
Do we have another one meeting this afternoon?
No.
no, but we are having one meeting like this, and then there's one before this where James and I, myself, Judith and Ruth all get together with Melissa. And
right. Okay. All right.
Yeah, that'll be next week at 10 o'clock this time.
10 o'clock. Okay. All right.
And so I guess we're at our end now, down at what is it, 11:30?
Yep. I want to say thank you for this. Was a good discussion. I really appreciate everyone's input. And George, any other final thoughts?
Yeah. Once again, get your information in to James, Melissa, and the other two people on your opting in and opting out snippets, so we can get those in. Well, I mean,
Stipends. Yeah.
Stipends. I thought you were being funny, George.
I just pronounce certain words differently.
I'm looking at my Google Calendar, and I have ODHS/OEP one applicant portal improvement committee today. Oh, that's December. Never mind. Okie dokie.
Yeah. I'm thinking that we're with the extra time that we have for November and December coming up,
Yeah,
you would get most of the stuff done anyway by then.
yeah, okay. All righty.
So
For some reason or another, my calendar, it came up on this month, but it's my fault. Sorry.
So we're gonna jump off, gonna adjourn and wish you all a safe week until we all meet again.
All right. See you later, George.